Once again, I have returned for another review of Samurai Jack.
That's my Aku impression. Do you like it? Anyway, onto the review. That one guy who's been commenting on my reviews, you're right, Season 4 is awesome. I really enjoyed this season. I will say that at the start, I really wasn't into the first 2 episodes. I did like the fight scene at the end of episode 1, but episode 2 just didn't interest me that much. But when it got to episode 3, that's when the season got really good. Let's start with my favorite episode of this season, episode 9. Aku was sick and tired of sending bounty hunters, so then he decides to do it himself by challenging Jack to a duel without using his sword. Jack accepts the duel, but in 3 conditions. Aku must not use superhuman abilities, no minions to assist him, and no shapeshifting, only in human form.
Hey, that was 4 things!
The last one was a 2-parter.
They have their duel, and of course Aku cheats.
That pillar did not move by itself, Aku!
Yes, it did!
But Jack knows this, because
I'm smart, and you are pure evil.
so he cheats as well.
I knew that you knew that I knew that you knew that I knew you would cheat. So I hid fake swords all over this place.
This episode was comedy gold. Both Aku and Jack were great in this. Mostly Aku. As much as these guys want to kill each other, they're so funny together. It's great.
We shall meet before the rising sun at the ancient ruins beyond the Valley of the Corpses.
Agreed. Was that east or west of the Crimson Hall of the Ogre?
East.
East, right.
You know where that is?
Yes, I will find it. Do not worry.
You sure?
No, don't worry. I remember now.
I can give you a ride if you...
I will find it!
Also, I really enjoyed the fight as well. Next favorite episode. This episode was a 2-parter, so this is both episode 6 and 7. Of course, this is one of my favorites because my man the Scotsman is in this. This episode starts with the Scotsman on a boat and meets what appears to be Jack, except he's wearing different clothes and talks different. Which, by the way, I couldn't stop making that voice while watching it. It's so fun to do. As if I'm not this Jack guy. What are you talking about?
So, they owe this guy who looks exactly like me everything. But he, got back on his boat and, continued on his way, and they, never got a chance to thank him.
The entire episode is the Scotsman trying to figure out what happened to Jack and why doesn't he remember anything. I thought there was going to be this twist where this guy isn't Jack and that the guy just looks like him, but actually what happened was Jack was trying to stop these singers from making people into slaves, but their singing abilities were too strong that they gave him amnesia. Although their singing is strong, they're no match for the Scotsman, for he believes their singing is terrible, and also believes that his wife sings better, which I'm pretty sure she sings terrible, but I guess love is blind. A whole battle begins. Jack gets his memories back, and they win. So this is when the episode kinda has this weird fill-in scene. It seems like the writers couldn't find a way to keep that plot as a whole episode, so they had to find a way to fill in the episode by having Jack and the Scotsman do these challenges to see who will row the boat in order for them to get off the island. It was a fun scene, it just felt weird for it to be there. Again, I like this episode because I love the Scotsman, I like seeing him return, but also was invested in the mystery of what happened to Jack. Episode 3. This was the episode that I was the most excited for because of the clip I saw when the samurai fights Jack. Watching that and Best Moments of Aku was the reason I wanted to give this show a shot. And this episode lived to my expectations. I love these episodes where he takes a break on the seriousness and becomes more of a comedic episode. The samurai is such a fun character. He is an obnoxious, cocky asshole, but he is so ridiculous that he was a blast whenever he was on screen. I love seeing him get annihilated by Jack while he's not even giving him eye contact and saying metaphors that I don't understand because I'm stupid when it comes to metaphors.
You can never defeat another if you know not how to defeat yourself.
Man, what is this? Story time!
I also thought it was hilarious when Jack breaks the samurai's fake muscles and Jack has this what the heck look, which is the first time he actually gives him eye contact in the entire fight. The samurai finds out that Jack is pretty cool and he's got a lot to learn to become a samurai. The episode ends with Jack finishing off these robots that were after him and told the samurai that his first lesson of being a samurai is complete and walks away while the samurai chases after him, wanting to learn more. Again, a really fun episode. The next episode I'm about to discuss is pretty depressing. This one is about a robot that was made to be an assassin. He was the only robot assassin that had emotions, just because the scientist that created him was nutty. Because the robot had emotions, he knew that what he was doing was wrong. And when him and those other robots got replaced by those robot bugs, he decided to retire and finds this little cute pug that he named Lulu. And they live happily ever after. But then his creator told Aku about this robot that had emotions, and Aku used him by kidnapping Lulu and told him if he wants to save this dog, he has to take down Samurai Jack. Obviously, we know how it ends. He failed the mission, and before he shuts down, his last words to Jack was,
Lulu, take care of Lulu.
This episode broke my heart. I love dogs. They fill me with joy and make me less depressed. So you could see why this episode hit me. We don't even know what happens to Lulu. She's obviously dead. I mean, it's Aku. He's evil, and that dog means nothing to him, so I could totally see him killing that dog. This isn't even the first time an episode ended on a sad note. Episode 5 starts off with these bounty hunters that meet together in a cabin, coming up with plans to take down the samurai. The problem is, they suck at it because of how they underestimate him. However, this bounty hunter knows more about Jack than anyone else, and comes up with a plan that at first I thought it was not a great plan, but the more I thought about it, the more I could see it working. But of course, Samurai Jack is a menace and he cannot be tamed, so it doesn't work. The reason why it's a sad ending is because even though the bounty hunters were doing this for money, this specific bounty hunter was doing this for her people. You see, she's a princess from a kingdom that has been destroyed by Aku, and because he's evil and manipulative, he told her that he would leave her kingdom alone if she captures Samurai Jack. Now, of course, if she succeeds, her kingdom would still be in pieces because it's Aku. Aku doesn't keep his word because he's evil, but it's still heartbreaking to see her in frustration. I pretty much talked about the episodes I really wanted to discuss, so at this point, I'm just going to discuss the other episodes in order, starting with episode 4. Can I just say, Aku being sick at the beginning was funny. I just didn't expect it. I laughed at him saying,
Destroy him.
Also, this makes no sense. This is a guy who's an immortal being that can't be harmed by anything except Jack's sword. And yet he can get sick? How is that possible? Still funny scene though.
No, I will not fight you today. Oh, I don't feel good.
It was interesting seeing Jack getting consumed by darkness, and seeing him getting a vision of his parents and the people he helped was a pretty cool scene. Episode 8. It was funny seeing Jack not knowing how a walkie-talkie and these vehicles work. It reminds me of old people not knowing how technology works, especially hearing him say that he prefers to walk, because that reminds me of an old man at a grocery store saying he prefers giving cash instead of using a credit card because how technology is difficult for him. Episode 10. This one was kind of forgetful for me. I'm not a fan of something that doesn't really have a plot, and it's just him going into situations that aren't connected. I did like the scene with the scientist. That was kind of badass. The spring scene was interesting as well. Seeing how Jack's will is powerful enough for him to get out of that trap was kind of cool. And am I weird to find that funny, how Jack replies to things in confusion?
Yes.
Episode 12. It's cool seeing another flashback of Jack's childhood. Even as a kid, he's still badass. I also love seeing different cultures in storytelling. I don't really see much African culture in shows and movies, at least in the West. So it's cool seeing that representation of that culture in this episode. And lastly, episode 13. This one I'm kind of mixed with. It was cute at times, the ending was pretty funny, and Jack acting like a dad to the baby was wholesome. But my gosh, the crying is so annoying. It was so hard for me to watch it at times. I literally watched it on the TV, but because it made my parents extremely annoyed, I decided to watch something else and then watch it on my phone. So yeah, that's all I have to say about season 4. This season by far is my favorite season. A lot of these episodes were great. I realize I haven't said who was the MVP of this season was yet. But based on the thumbnail, you know it's Aku, because man, he killed it this season. As much as I like him being threatening, I'm really glad that he was more of a goofball in this season. If I had to pick a character that appeared in this season to be the MVP, I say the Samurai, because he was also great. I'm one more season to go. I'm excited. Are you excited? Anyway, time for me to go. See you later. Gotta get back to the best Samurai Jack. Watcha! Gotta get back Back to the past, Samurai Jack. Watcha!